Oh, you know it. You like to be spooked? Well, Halloween season is well underway right now, and we're here to celebrate with some thrills and some chills, and welcome to the Blumhouse. This is on Amazon Prime. It's out, and the film Madres is premiering today, and this is a very local connection here. We have Evelyn Gonzalez, who's starring in Madres, and the writer, Marcella Ochoa. Good morning, ladies.
Hi, good morning.
And both of you are from San Diego. This is so exciting. So let's start with Madres. Tell us about it. What inspired this story?
So I was inspired. I love to write horror. And growing up, I never saw people who looked like me in horror in film or television or in my community. And so it's very important to me in everything that I write. I want to represent my community. And my grandparents were migrant farm workers from Texas. We went from Texas and moved to San Diego. And this was an important story for me of what was happening to migrant farm workers in the 70s in California, the injustices, and it lends itself to a horror. And I think a horror lens is a really great way to talk about social justice issues and to get this story across for my community that a lot of people don't know happen. And so I think representation is really important, and that was why I wanted to write this story and why I did it in a horror.
Wow. Bravo, Marcella. Yeah, I feel like a lot of times horror movies, you don't really take away much other than I just got scared. But it sounds like there's a lot of layers to this one.
Yes, exactly. And on top of that, I also wanted to show different aspects of the Latino community. So our lead is Mexican American who doesn't really speak Spanish, and she feels like an outsider when she moves to this migrant farming community because her husband is a migrant farm worker. And so she feels like an outsider in her own community. And I think that's a story we never really get to see, and I wanted to explore that and have her, this woman, this mother who's pregnant, dealing with childhood anxiety of in a society where she feels she doesn't fit in.
Yeah.
And then, you know, on top of that, she feels like there's a curse going on. There's all of these different layers, and at the very end, the twist is, what is the real horror that's happening to social justice? So there's a lot of things I wanted to pack into this.
Wow, yeah, and you put the social justice topic in, which I think is so relevant too, so that's amazing. Evelyn, let's bring you into this conversation. What was it like for you to be selected to be an actress in this scary movie?
Incredible, to say the least. I grew up in City Heights, you know, and City Heights is the hood. That's what it is. And so I never knew that this could possibly be a possibility. My parents are both immigrants. We didn't have a lot of money growing up. I always kind of knew that I wanted to be in the industry, but it just wasn't a realistic dream. My parents didn't have the means or the connections, or they just weren't educated or had no idea. And neither did I, to be honest. You know, just being here right now is surreal. And even more to the fact that this movie is my first movie, and it was written by a Mexican woman, and it was directed by a Mexican American director, and the majority of the cast is Latino. It's honestly just a dream, and it's destiny, and dreams come true.
Oh, and we get to talk to both of you about it. I feel so lucky that we get to share this with our viewers. Marcella, real quick before we have to go, as far as obviously the Hispanic culture and the importance of having, you know, obviously Hispanic actors and you being part of this, tell us about that real quick. I know that's obviously near and dear to your heart.
Oh yes, absolutely. Like, I just feel like representation is important in front of and behind the camera. You know, we make up almost 20% of this country, yet we don't really get to see our stories told in film and in television. And so that's something very important to me, to have our stories represented across the board, not just in horror stories, but in everything. We need to be superheroes. We need to be, you know, astronauts, doctors, everything. So that's really important for me in everything that I write or create, to have that representation from our community. And we have such a vast community and so many stories to tell, and legends, and our culture is so rich. And I think, you know, now is the time where we should be able to tell these stories. And
thank you for putting San Diego on the map in this way too, to have both of you from San Diego. That's huge, and what a treat to have you guys here. Yay.
It's been great for us to be back. Like, this is a great experience.
And I'm sure for your families, they must be so proud.
We're doing it in San Diego. It's just like insane.
Amazing.
Real quick, I know we have to go, but do you want to give anyone a shout out who lives here in San Diego?
Yes, my parents and my sister, my nephews live in Escondido.
Oh.
So I'm going to go see them after that. So shout out to Escondido and my family.
I'm sure
I want to shout out my parents. I love them so much, and everybody in City Heights, all the Latinos that, live in, the hood per se. Just know that whatever it is that you want to do, it's possible. Don't let your current circumstances keep you from your dreams. Dreams become reality, and I'm definitely proof of that.
You both are. Thank you very much. So good to see you this morning. Check out Madres coming out tonight, so you don't want to miss it.